So recently, there's been some news about how the Los Angeles Lakers might want to trade Russell Westbrook because the big three of LeBron, AD, and Westbrook hasn't been as good as they were expecting. So basically, it's rumored the Lakers might trade Russell Westbrook before the trade deadline. This is actually pretty interesting because obviously this would be a huge move, probably the biggest move that happened so far this season. But in my opinion, it doesn't really make that much sense to me, and I don't think it's gonna happen. And that's led me to make this video where I'll be discussing some reasons as to why I don't think the Lakers are gonna trade Russell Westbrook. Well, before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video as it does help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. Also, if you want to help me reach my goal of 3,000 subscribers, also drop a comment on this video to start a conversation with me as I do respond to all of my comments. And play that intro. But quickly before we get into the video, I gotta show you this really quickly. This is the new Diversion water bottle. It's basically a water bottle where you can put stuff like your keys, wallet, and other kind of small items like in your water bottle that will make you lose it way less. And it will also just help you to not have your pockets full and things like that. Click the link in my bio if you're interested, and into the video. The first reason I don't think the Los Angeles Lakers will trade Russell Westbrook is due to the fact that trading a guy like Russell Westbrook is not easy. I'm not saying this because I think Westbrook's a bad player or anything like that. It's just about the type of player that he is and how big his contract is. Westbrook is not a guy who fits well into most teams in the league. If you have Russell Westbrook on your team and you actually want to be successful, you have to basically build the team around him, or at least build the team in a way that will help him succeed. He's not like a Mike Conley, Kemba Walker, or like a Reggie Jackson or Kyle Lowry type of point guard. We could just go to any team in the league and still be him same self without negatively impacting others or just negatively impacting himself. Even though Westbrook is obviously better than all of those point guards I named, he's not as easy of a fit, which really dwindles down the amount of teams he could go to. If Westbrook was just the ultimate player who fits everywhere, even with his bad contract, I think they could possibly move him and get good stuff in return, but that clearly is just not the case. There's probably like 5 teams in the whole NBA who would actually be not even like a good fit, but would actually just trade for Russell Westbrook in the first place. And I'm just guessing, like I actually haven't looked into it. I don't know what teams Westbrook would be a good fit on, but I know that there's not more than 5. And when you add him into that, like add in like that he's one of the 10 biggest contracts in the league, no team is really gonna want that because they're gonna have to first try and fit him into their team and try and build him around their team, and then they're gonna have to pay him $50 million a year. It's gonna be really hard to trade Westbrook, and honestly I'm surprised they're even looking at it. Second reason I don't think the Los Angeles Lakers are going to trade Russell Westbrook is due to the fact that the Lakers haven't really even played half of their season yet. I think trading Westbrook at this stage in the season is a bit too big of an overreaction, because don't get me wrong, the Lakers haven't really been good to start the season, but they have been mediocre. People are acting like the Lakers are like 5 games below 500 or something like that. If they were like 5 games below 500, I honestly say they should maybe look like, I'd actually agree, they should be looking to trade Russell Westbrook, but right now they're a bit over 500, which means there has been some positive signs. It hasn't just been negatives. Please don't listen to what the media is saying. They're just acting like the Lakers have just been absolutely trash the whole entire year. You also have to realize that this team literally has only 3 players from the previous season, meaning their chemistry was definitely gonna have to get built up, and it would be kind of naive to assume this team was just gonna come out, start playing amazing team basketball. Players need to adjust to LeBron and Westbrook, who are 2 of the hardest players to adjust, not just in the NBA right now, but in NBA history. You also have to realize the Lakers have had a lot of injuries this year, which has definitely not helped their ability to build chemistry, as LeBron has missed like over half the season. And also, it simply has not just been Russell Westbrook's fault. I don't even think he's the biggest reason for them losing a bunch of games. I don't think he's been perfect, but overall I'd say he's a positive for the team. In my opinion, the true big problem with this team is the fact that they're old as hell. They also haven't been really good on defense at all. Their like roster's not even filled with that much good defenders. Anthony Davis hasn't been his usual top 3 defender in the NBA self, and he hasn't been able to like carry the defense. Also, Anthony Davis deserves a lot way more blame than Russell Westbrook. He's literally supposed to be a top 5 player in the NBA. If we're being honest, he hasn't even been a top 15 player in the NBA. To be honest, he hasn't even really been injured. He's just been playing trash. He looks like he has no drive. Ever since he won the championship, he just hasn't been the same player. Yeah, I'm not saying he's putting up bad stats. Like, what is he averaging? Like 24 points, 10 rebounds on solid efficiency. I know we all saw that stat of him being like the worst jump shooter in the NBA. So to be honest, put more blame on Anthony Davis's head. I don't know why Russell Westbrook just gets all of the blame. Sure, he does negative things, but I genuinely think Anthony Davis deserves more blame. But overall, I don't think the Lakers are going to trade him, because unless they're just some casuals, they should know that not Anthony Davis, but they should know Russell Westbrook is the bigger reason for the Lakers not being amazing so far. Also injuries and them just not being good on defense. The third reason I don't think the Los Angeles Lakers are going to trade Russell Westbrook is due to the fact that even if the Lakers could somehow find a team that would actually want to trade for Russell Westbrook, the odds of them finding a player or players who can help you just as much as Westbrook can is very, very slim. Like, I mean really slim. Some team might just be dumb enough to like trade for Russell Westbrook, but I doubt they're going to give you like their best player or like a very, very good role player who can help you more than Westbrook can. Because at this point of his career, you're not going to send Russell Westbrook to a rebuilding team because they have no use for him because they're trying to rebuild. Most contending teams already have a solid enough point guard who fits well with like their offense, stuff like that. And most contending teams don't even have that much cap space. So when it comes down to the middle of the pack teams, I can actually see him going to some of those teams, but I doubt any of those teams have a player who will help you win more than Russell Westbrook. So when you look at that, to be honest, I question whether or not it's even beneficial or just makes any flat out sense to trade Russell Westbrook. Because what's the point of trading Russell Westbrook if you're not going to get better? Then on top of that, if you were going to trade Russell Westbrook, you would probably do it at the trade deadline, which means you would be losing an absolute huge part of your team and you'd be trading him. And then you get a bunch of new players that you have to try and recuperate into your offense. I don't even know what that word means, but you just have to add some more players to your offense, add some more players, try and build chemistry with them. Like, I think they should just keep going, try and build chemistry with Russell Westbrook. There's no point of just changing the whole roster, because if they do that, I honestly can see them losing in the first round again. So in my opinion, they should try and get like some better role players or something like that instead of trading Russell Westbrook, especially when you realize Anthony Davis hasn't been good. As I said, Anthony Davis deserves more blame. To conclude the video, I promise you Russell Westbrook is not going to get traded. It simply makes no sense. It's very unlikely due to the fact that Westbrook's not an easy player to trade, and even if they were to trade him, I doubt they would get assets that are good enough to help the team better than he can. Also, I think people have been overreacting just a little bit to how bad the Lakers have been. They've been bad, but they've still won more games than they lost, and they've been missing their best player in LeBron James for most of the season. So to be honest, I think the rumors of the Lakers trading Russell Westbrook is just crazy rumors that happen every year at the trade deadline, but nothing comes out of it. Also, Westbrook's not even the biggest reason for the Lakers not being like amazing. He's like the 5th biggest reason. Anyways, guys, that's it for the video. Let me know whether or not you think Russell Westbrook's going to get traded. And if you think he's going to get traded, let me know where. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want daily NBA content. Also, if you want to reach my goal of 3,000 subscribers. Also, drop a comment on this video as I do respond to all of my comments. And I'm out.